Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Plat. Purplatypus is the name, and today we are talking about the Gladiators. I'm going to show you two ways to build them if you want to go more offensive or if you want to go more tanky frontline, kind of dependent on your situation. I'll have a combat example of what I think the build can do. And yeah, we're just going to talk about the Gladiator, give you an overview. So, very first, before we jump into it, I want to thank my supporters and members. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. I'm up to 11 now, so that's awesome. I really appreciate all the support I've been getting. I've gotten all of you guys as supporters and members in the last like 10 days, so it's been on average one a day, and that's freaking awesome. So thank you very much. Now we're gonna jump into the video. So let's take a look at the Gladiators first of all. By first of all, I mean I'm gonna move myself over here because this part's more important. So what is their what is their toolkit? Basically, there are tanks in the game that are high defense. There are tanks in the game that are high basically magic defense, tanks in the game with high evasion, and there are tanks in the game with high guard percentages, so they just guard a lot more. And then there are tanks in the game such as the Gladiator that is HP tanking. Basically, they say hit me as hard as you want. I have so much HP that I'm not gonna die. That is what the Gladiator does. They just face tank things. They don't try to block. They just go like, ha ha ha, and then they heal it back up. That's what they do. So they have an S rank in the HP department. But you can see they have a lot of Fs, right? F physical, F magical attack. They're actually better at magic defense than physical defense, which is a little interesting. Bad accuracy, bad evasion, low crit rate, low guard rate, low initiative. They're basically all HP, and then they actually have a pretty decent physical attack, like on par with like other good characters. Like, what is Elaine's at? Is it an A or is it an S? Elaine's physical attack is a C. All right, and his physical attack scales at a B. So over the course of, a Gladiator will get more physical attack than a Lord, at least in theory. So they have really good physical attack and they have really good potencies to go with it. But let's take a look at their skills here. So with their skills, they got, they're kind of built around their passes, but let's look at their action really quick. Wide smash, attack a row of enemies plus 50 potency if the user is at max HP. So this hits with a 150 potency or a 200 potency if they're at max HP. You see it has an 80% hit rate. That's pretty rough given they already have a lower accuracy, but it's not absolutely the worst, but you're never going to have basically a 100% hit chance unless you are putting effort into this. So this could become a bigger problem later in the game when the evasion rates just passively get higher by characters just leveling up. But hopefully that'll be paced by the accuracy. But then they have bulk up. This is basically their bread and their butter. This is activates after they're hit by an attack. They recover 40% of their HP. So this is just a massive self-heal that automatically activates after being hit by an attack. Then they get wide counter, activates after an enemy attacks with an active skill. So an enemy is going, this is much more important on the offensive version of this unit that we're going to go over second. But basically, after an enemy attacks with an active skill, they get to a counterattack with a potency of 100. And it counterattacks a whole row of enemies. So it's a very good AoE, but with low accuracy. But they don't need to attack him. They can attack anybody. And their Valor skill is Toughness. What is that? Successfully downloaded an update for a game I'm not playing. Got it. Negate stamina loss at the end of battle. Very good. It costs 1 Valor point, so it's 1 Valor point for 1 stamina. That's a pretty good deal. Knock back an enemy unit after battle. Now, I don't know if that means even if you lose, you will knock them back and they trigger their wait time, or if it is physically moves them. I haven't experimented with this enough, but it's ineffective versus garrison units. But still, overall, I think it's a pretty good ability. Sometimes you just want 1 more stamina and you're out of item uses. This will get you there. But again, it is a Valor skill that mostly could be negated by a single item use, so it's not insane, but it is going to be useful sometimes. So what is the idea with this unit? It depends on what you want to do here. Basically, they're going to sit in the front, get hit, and they're going to then heal themselves up and then counterattack for probably a good amount of damage if they hit. But you're either going to be using them primarily as a tank or primarily as a damage dealer. Now, if you're going the tank route, I recommend you go to your loadout here and you set up like a bulk up and you make it so it activates only if your HP is below. You can go 75%, you can go 50%. It's going to change depending on the fight. You're not getting max value if you activate it after 75%. But sometimes if you wait till minus 50%, like Cavalry could still one-shot them at 30 HP a lot of time. Or like when they're at half HP, Cavalry might have a chance to one-shot them. So you might want to not play it that risky. But if you're not getting one-shot, that is actually 50% is pretty much like the ideal if you could do this. Because you're going to get max value. And it's going to combine with another thing we're doing here. As far as Wide Smash, you might want to do it so it only activates if your HP is close to 100%. You can even make it activate only at 100%. Now, the risk of this is they may never use it in a combat if their HP is low. But if you pair them with a cleric who's going to be healing them, and the cleric goes slow and you go slow and the enemy takes all their actions, then you have a chance to just wait until until the very end of the fight and the fight's over, and then you go to max HP, then you start smacking everybody. But it's a little bit risky because you may not activate your ability at all. So kind of play with these a little bit, but you kind of want something like your own HP is a certain amount and above a certain amount, and your own HP is below a certain amount for these abilities. And as far as, I wouldn't use wide counter on the tanking version. Now, as for the items, you get this Zenorian axe from the black market, which I do have a video on, so you could go watch that. This is a perfect item for this defensive unit. 10 max HP, 2 physical defense, and 2 magic defense. It's just like they have bad physical and magical defense, so that little bit does help. And the 10 HP is exactly what they want, and this actually does a lot of damage. It does like more damage than the crushing axe, you know, so it does 6 more damage than your starting axe. It does 3 more damage than the recruit's hand axe. It does more damage than the Baroque axe. I don't know what that is. And it does the same amount of damage as the Rose Knight axe. So as far as the early game goes, this is like a perfect axe for your tanking gladiator. Outside of the weapon, if you're going full tank, Lapis Pendant is so important. Getting more than one use of the bulk up literally doubles the survivability, if not more than doubles it, essentially. Because like being able to heal up more than one time literally makes or breaks the gladiator. Before they can heal up more than once, it's just too hard, man. They're not healing enough, I don't feel like. I feel like a Lapis Pendant is like a required slot on this unit, or something that increases your base PP, essentially. Even if it's not this, but you need to get a couple more PP out of this unit for it to be good. Now, an item that I don't think is that good on many characters, but so good on your tanking gladiators, is the Leaf Brooch. So, heals 10% HP when using an active skill. This is so much HP on this unit. But what's important is that it, bulk up gives you 40% HP, and then this activates before you attack. When your turn comes up, he doesn't attack and then heal. He heals and then attacks, making it so much easier to get this wide smash to actually proc, even if you're tanking. And even if it doesn't, it still will allow you just to heal in the middle of combat to give you that extra healing, because he's all HP tank. So having more self-healing is so good. The little bit of physical and magical defense is something. It's not really relevant, but I mean, it might keep you alive sometime. But the Leaf Brooch is like perfect for this gladiator, and I think you get this from the Witch Town after you save the witch. I think it's down there somewhere. I could be wrong. Check me on that. I don't remember where I get all these items because there's so many in the game, but incredibly good here. Now, if you're going for a tank gladiator, I'm gonna recommend having something really cool. Like this is tough because the cleric with Lyrical Wand is probably good in literally every formation in the entire game, but it's also good in this formation. So for the tanking one, I like having a Lyrical Wand, and the Vitality Talisman and Golden Egg are not something you need. You could probably replace something like something like a Dancer's Bracelet. You could, just to make them deal more damage. Like there's not really too much stuff here. I would actually like something that gives them just a little bit of, if you give them just a tad of the, sorry, what was I going to say? I was saying something. If you give them a little bit of initiative, then they'll go faster. I kind of like them going faster because that way, the first time it comes around, they won't just passively active heal. You can make it so, this will make it so it always heals even if they're at full HP, but you can move this around so they're not going to heal them if they're at full HP. It waits till they take damage, but basically, you have the Lyrical Wand with an active heal. And then I would put, with your tanky one, I'll just put some really, really strong unit. Every time this guy gets attacked, which is going to be every single time the enemy attacks pretty much, unless they're attacking your back row, this guy, he's going to be healing himself up. She's going to be counterattacking, doing tons of damage. You know, you got the King's Blade, you got the Mercenary Eye Patch, you got the Brown Beret. You could probably switch this to a Warrior's Medallion to do even better, but I only have one, and I'm using it on the second Gladiator right now. So something that would be insane. 46% crit rate. Let's go. Another thing you might want to do on your character here, actually, if you have enough of them, is use the pendant and turn on heal to target, like, I'll show you. This is, I have basically a third build that I'm going to show you a video of, because I'm kind of trying to show off both types of the tankiness and the offensiveness in that combat scenario. But let's take a look here. So that's basically the first build for the Gladiator. Now the second build is the one that is more, you're trying to go all offensive on the Gladiator, basically. Now, I hope my Gladiator is not a high enough level for their stats to be impressive, right? This guy's only level 2 because I recruited him for the sake of this video. But the idea is basically you are more all in on trying to get the damage up, right? This is when you recruit your Gladiator. I made him hardy, but you'd make him offensive, and you're trying to really capitalize on this 200 physical potency attack and this wide counter, which is really, really good, especially when you get to level 15. Early on, when I don't have it, you're going to want to equip something like counter that gives them an ability to use their PP offensively instead of for healing. Like if you're in the back row, something like this, right? So you're going to want to do something probably more like this. And then you're going to I think you're going to want something like the Rose Knight Axe, something that gives you maybe a little bit of initiative and a little bit of accuracy. And then you're going to want to be funneling more AP into this unit. And actually a really cool interaction here that if you kind of want to meet in the middle, and let's say you don't want to use counter, because you're kind of doing offensive, but you're not all in. This is what I have been doing for most of my playthrough. Doing something a bit more like this, because the Leaf Brooch feels so good. And then you kind of just set these up like I did in the first one. But what will happen here, which is really good, is that the first time this guy would get attacked, instead the Hoplite will jump in and take the damage, right? And then the second time he would get attacked, the Hoplite will jump in and take the damage. So you've already absorbed 2 attacks. This guy's at max HP. And then if he gets attacked, that's when kind of it starts there. So if he gets attacked, this character, you know, will be able to heal him, give him back up to max HP. He'll be able to heal himself back up to max HP. So the wide smash is going to do really, you know, it's going to do its full potency. And if you have a bunch of physical attack to back it up, then it's just going to do pretty insane AoE damage. And I actually don't think you need on this one, like you have the accessory slot free. You don't need to use the Lapis Pendant because you're using a character to block multiple attacks. So I think you can get away with a more physical output. Like maybe you don't even use the Leaf Brooch. Maybe you do something like a Brown Beret once your attack gets high enough, right? Maybe you do something like the, what's the other one called? The Mercenary's Eye Patch to get 20% more crit rate, you know? But what's really cool about this is if you have the Lyrical Wand and you have the Pendant on the Cleric, then they get to heal the front row, right? I have it set up so they'll always heal the front row and always give them their extra attack. But then with their 1 extra AP, they get to still heal the back row at the same time. So the 2 hits that he took, basically he gets to heal from immediately because he's going to get the quick heal, and then he's going to get a full strength heal. Then the front line is also going to get the active heal, which is a big heal, on top of also getting an extra AP. So overall, it just, like, the Gladiator's a really good unit. Now he has his clear weaknesses. They're not good versus flyers. Their low accuracy makes it pretty much impossible for them to hit flyers. They're like, you know, 20%, something like that. They're not good against cavalry. Once cavalry, if you have too low of a level and you're going up against cavalry, they do deal double damage. So if you're not set up right, they could absolutely just one-shot you. Like from 50 HP, they could just hit you for like 50 damage, you know, and that could be brutal. But as long as you're not getting one shot, and as long as you're not just like completely missing all your attacks. Oh, also they're weak against thieves, things that just instantly steal their PP. But this actually would be good against thieves because thieves go so fast. This guy would jump in front of and guard against the thief immediately. So the thief would try to attack the Gladiator, that he would get guarded guaranteed, and the passive steal would not work. Now that would basically not counter the thief, but it would do a pretty good job of almost countering the thief while still being able to keep a Gladiator and being able to keep his healing up. So yeah, there we go. Now let's go ahead and watch that combat, and then we'll be right back. So let's take a look at this fight. I recorded it earlier because, you know, you want to find a fight that actually showcases it. And this isn't perfectly min-max, but this shows you really what this unit is capable of when being used in a correct way. So let's see, can I hit the spacebar to pause it? Yeah, I can. So here we're going up against 3 Radiant Knights. Now this is ideal. They're all in the front row, but they are all cavalry. Let's see, can I move myself just a little bit? Let's go. I'm not that important here. Okay, there we go. I mean, I'm important, but you know what I mean. All right. So you can see here, we're going to destroy them in this fight. And so let's kind of just see. This is an example. Okay, here we go. You can see I was talking over it for a second there. So as you can see here, right, first thing they do is they come in to attack us. We block. Boom. So we take no damage. And then the quick heal goes off, a little bit of a waste. We should probably move that so it only heals if they're below 75%. They go to attack again. Boom. This one he actually, because I took the shield off so he doesn't have 2 PP. So he actually takes this hit and then he heals up 40%. And now this character hits him and he's going to heal up 40% again. So we've done 0 damage so far. But now, see, he heals 6 points. This is why it's not quite min-maxed, because he didn't get to full heal. Maybe if I would have done it below 75%, I would have. I don't really think so, because I think he activated it twice, once after getting attacked each time. But, so he's going to do a wide smash here, right? Hits them all for 15. Not insane. But now that we got the active heal, he moves that AP to him. He's at full HP. This guy's attack doesn't matter. He's not there for that. But so he heals another time again before attacking. So if he would have had not taken quite so much damage, then he would have actually done 200% potency each time. But then he comes here with another wide smash, and then he hits for 30, 20, 20, right? And this is like a relatively low character versus relatively high level characters. I think my Bruno is, let's take a look again. 2 things. One, Bruno is dog shit as a gladiator. Mine's level 7, and these are like level 14 enemies, I think, if I recall correctly. Bruno is kind of dog shit. What you should do is recruit your own right away. He's defensive and precise. I would go for the tank version. I would probably go something like Hardy. Just get as much HP as possible. Really, really go all in, because that's what they do. Or you could go potentially Hardy offensive, you know, offensive, just to get as high. I don't think you want to go quite all in on the physical attack side of it. I would probably go Hardy, or Hardy offensive for this unit, because they do have great physical attack scaling, but that HP you don't want to give up. You want that HP scaling because it is so good. But yeah, that's kind of the idea of what this character could do and how I would build around them. I think they're very good. I think that you got to find the right units for them to fight against. I mean, obviously, but they have the weaknesses that I mentioned before. You know, they can get one shot by really strong cavalry, or basically they're low accuracy, but overall they're a really good tank. I mean, a tank with a lot of HP that self heals is good, as long as their low armor doesn't absolutely fuck them in the late game. Like, even if they have 200 HP and they have 5 armor and an enemy hits for, like, you know, if all the enemies are hitting for like 50, 60, like, it doesn't matter that you have 200 HP. You're just gonna die really fast. Well, I mean, even then, maybe you wouldn't die that fast because you have 200 HP. You heal up fucking 80 every time you use bulk up, so maybe it would still be too insane, right? But anyway, I like the Gladiator. I do think that they get a bit shit on from what I've seen. Yeah, basically not what I've seen, but basically from chat. But I think that's mostly because Bruno is just kind of bad. Bruno's stats feel really weak. And maybe it's because defensive precise is just not very good on this unit. You don't care about defenses. You just don't. Their defenses are remarkably low. So I would say you would just basically hire a new Gladiator the second you can. I mean, this Gladiator is level 2. If we compare this unit, for example, to my new Gladiator, my level 7 to my level 2. I'm sorry, I'm playing off my OBS. I'm like a Monster Hunter speedrunner. I'm playing off my OBS right now. Bruno to Emily, right? Like, Emily's attack's actually higher. They got some equipment, but I think this might be base, actually. 52 to 63 HP, right? But yeah, actually the attack seems to be even higher. The accuracy is even higher. The physical defense is almost the same. The initiative's higher. So, I mean, maybe this is accounting for items. I don't know. But still, regardless, like, those 5 levels for Bruno did almost nothing. So, definitely something worth thinking about. Anyway, that's all for today, guys. Thank you very much to Platypus and Purplatypus. I will see you for the launch coming up here. I won't be playing the game the day it comes out because I'll be at work, but I will be playing it the day after it comes out. So much love for Platypus and Purplatypus. Thank you again. to my members. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the flip flop. Bye.